I'll get back to the point of FreeBSD because I am also a Linux user and I also use FreeBSD server. Uh, and that's the perception problem that is there when you're talking about Windows get attacked more. I'm also curious is that how many Windows machines are there in the world versus Linux and BSD machines?
I think is interesting around security, right, is one of the hardest parts is people say, do you know if you've been attacked? Or do you
We don't
know
know.
if you were taken? So that actually is a really interesting problem because today, so I was talking to someone who's developed an AI system, right? And I do a great stand-up routine about AI and ML, my two friends. There's Al and ML, and they're great. No one knows what they do, but what they do is really cool. And when they walk in the room, everyone believes them. But the problem is when you actually start talking about how things work with artificial intelligence or machine learning, what you have is false positives and false negatives, right? So the question is when you're looking at these systems today, a lot of people are saying, well, I monitor my systems to make sure that they're secure. And there's a really interesting problem with that. You say, well, what is the false positive and what is the false negative rate? And I go, what do you mean? I go, well, if it's an artificial intelligence system of some form, and it's a very broad term, so I'm not going to go there, but essentially what you end up with is a statistical distribution of detection. So sometimes you'll be right and sometimes you'll be wrong. And so this becomes a really interesting problem for servers because if you look at it today, where you've got this huge deployment of Linux servers in the cloud, and they have incredible security at Amazon, Azure, Google. But remember, you only have to be right once. They have to be right every day. And so you have that component of it. But then the other component you have is the desktop. And the key thing is it's very difficult for someone to say, my system has never been hacked. And the principal reason is because the whole point of hacking a system is that the attacker doesn't want you to know. They would very much prefer that you didn't know. So now you have the other aspect of this is the amorphous nature of the network. So if you think about a building, and there's a wonderful quote on this from a book that I will reference later, but one of the issues is if you think about a building, you say, oh, well, I'm going to put firewalls into the building, but the analogy is I'm going to put security guards on the building, and I'm going to stop people coming in and out of the building. And you go, great, that's really smart. So when people come in through the front door, you'll protect the building. And everyone goes, yes. And you go, great. What about the people who are coming in through the working door, through the work door downstairs? Oh, we need a security guard for that as well. Okay, great. Did you put a security guard on the roof? No. Why would I put one there? Well, there's a bridge from the other building into our building, so we need a security guard on the roof, or we've got to lock the door. And so what happens is it's the same with networks. They're inherently more, transparent. There's a lot of entries and exits. And this is why it becomes so hard to protect systems because you just don't know where the traffic's coming from. I always say to people, I'm saying, look, you can't change security unless you change the economic workload of the cyber attacker.